Wow, look at that. I started my video with 34% charge left on my laptop. And Donald Trump, what happened to him? He just got convicted on 34 counts. Breaking news! Donald Trump just responded to being found guilty on 34 counts. Trump states the real verdict will be decided on Election Day, November 5th, 2024. He also mentioned George Soros, and he said all the pieces are coming together. Let's get it from MSNBC. Donald Trump found guilty on all 34 counts of falsifying business documents in New York. 34 counts. I'm going to give you guys a prediction. I'm going to pull a rabbit out of my hat in this video. So I hope you guys have your popcorn ready. And I have an important message for Democrats and liberals. You're so easy to manipulate. You're so easy to manipulate. And I saw how easily this man manipulated you in 2017, 2018, and 2019. But I look back at you now. While you had blue hair, while those women were growing out their armpit hair, while everyone was just trying to brag about how many black friends they had to, stay woke, that the Democrats of 2017, 2018, and 2019, they were right about one thing. Seth Meyers, Keith Olbermann, Rachel Maddow, this woman right here, they were right about one thing. Bill Maher said it a lot. Donald Trump is going to abuse his power. He's going to be a dictator. And I'm actually on video in 2016 during the election in my own little reporting that I did, being interviewed. And I said that I also thought Donald Trump was going to be America's version of a dictator. I even said he was going to be America's version of Adolf Hitler in that. So I'm going to give you a prediction to prove all of this is true. Because what I do for a living is I infiltrate cults. I think it's fun to infiltrate cults. I was born into a cult. I was born into a cult. My grandpa sold my soul. My dad sold my soul. I sold my soul when I was 14 to the Vatican. The Scottish Rite, Freemasons. I was born and bred. I wasn't born, but my family bloodline comes from, those same Scottish Rite, whatever people over there. Anyway, we were from Scotland. We got family crests. I was born in a cult. I used to ask people, I was like, wait a minute, your family doesn't do, you guys don't have ritual celebrations at the equinoxes and the solstices? They were like, no. I was like, oh, that's weird. Well, where's your family crest? Anyway, yeah, no, I think infiltrating cults is fun. It's really easy for me to do, and I'm really charismatic, so it's easy. So I infiltrated Donald Trump's cult, the MAGA Patriots. I wanted to see what they were all about. Because they actually had some interesting stock market opinions. And I've talked about those in recent videos. But I'm going to give you a big prediction before I get into the stocks in this video, specifically for the Democrats. I infiltrated Donald Trump's cult, and they've known this was going to happen. This was one of the big markers that they call it, a very important event. And they're really excited that you're celebrating. Are people celebrating? Let's just make sure that's true. Lock him up, I believe, is trending. Yep, lock him up, lock him up. Trump is guilty, lock him up, lock him up, lock him up. And they're using pictures of Hillary Clinton. Interesting. Lock him up, lock him up. Look at this one. So you're being played right now. Just like in 2021, all the Democrats, what they do, they said, hey, we don't like medical autonomy. You have to take your vaccine. Yeah, we hate medical autonomy. What happened the next year? Women lost the right to abortion. No medical autonomy. You said you didn't want medical autonomy. Good, we took it away. You got plague, and you got heart disease, and your kids probably got euthanized. Anyway, no one is above the law. Oh, you're showing him. You're showing him, aren't you? Yeah, no one is above the law. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a prediction right now. You're gonna find out that Donald Trump is gonna use all this mojo you guys have for saying that sitting presidents can be tried for their crimes, and how proud every liberal and every Democrat is that Donald Trump, a former president, is being tried for his crimes. You're going to find out that this is all you being set up. Yeah, you're going to find out this is all being the Democrat Party being set up for something my followers know. And you're all about to be told this, so you might as well just figure it out now. You're all about to be told this. Yeah, you're going to have all this be used as an excuse to say, hey, you guys are really happy. You guys are really happy with this idea and this concept of trying former presidents for their crimes while they were in office. You know, Joe Biden is accused of having, kept some documents he wasn't supposed to keep. Joe Biden's also been accused of some war crimes from when he was in office in 2012 through 2016, when he was Obama's vice president. And I think he was also vice president before then. So what's going to happen? What's really going to happen is you're celebrating this idea that former presidents, former presidential candidates, former vice presidents can be tried and convicted for their crimes by their political opponents. Well, guess what? Donald Trump already had this idea. And it was the same idea that Seth Meyers and Bill Maher and Keith Olbermann and all the liberals tried to warn you about. And they were right. That Donald Trump was going to try his political opponents in secret military tribunals. And so now that you're celebrating that all these former presidents, all these former Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Mike Pence, you're celebrating that all these former presidential figures, vice presidential figures, cabinet members that all happen to be Donald Trump's political rivals at some point. You're celebrating now that they could have an unfair trial pinned against them and be prosecuted for it and be, whatever their punishment was. Now you want him punished, right? You want him thrown in jail. You want him thrown in prison. You want all of his punishments for his crimes. Guess what? He already had this idea, fool, and now you support it. He already did this. This is his way of telling you, I infiltrated Donald Trump's Q code. They know all about this. They want Donald Trump in jail. This was one of their markers, and now they're getting it. And I did my research. I looked at the stocks they were talking about, and I was like, holy cow, these people are right. These people are right. These people did their homework. They did their due diligence. And I can't believe they support this guy for doing this. But, yep, you are going to find out that this is all you, the Democratic Party, being set up to be told Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, and Joe Biden, to name a few, were victims of military tribunals in 2018, 2019, 2017, 2020, 2021, for consuming adrenochrome, for committing war crimes, for doing bad things with children. You're going to find out that Donald Trump had all of those people in military tribunals. That's why Joe Biden is wearing a mask in this video, because Joe Biden was being tried for his crimes. One of those crimes actually ended up being election interference. That's why Donald Trump had an executive order in September of 2018 specifically addressing the 2020 election. That's why he signed a massive executive order on January 19th of 2021. Joe Biden is wearing a mask in this picture because he was being tried on some Navy ship somewhere, most likely one, I don't know what Navy ship he was on. I don't know. Maybe he was at Guantanamo Bay itself. The Pentagon and the Pentagon. What the Pentagon say? The Pentagon's building a new secret courtroom at Guantanamo Bay. The House of Representatives is voting on having Guantanamo Bay proceedings. Maybe Joe Biden was at one of those. But yeah, this was one of those markers. You're about to be told that, actually Democrats, actually liberals, you're being set up just like you were set up with saying, hey, we don't like medical autonomy. Everyone has to take their vaccines, or they lose their jobs, they lose their rights, they lose whatever, they go to whatever, you know. And then what happened the next year? You didn't get any of that, but instead you lost your abortion rights, right? You lost your medical autonomy. Now you're being told you're supporting the trials because of, political opponents. They can be tried against former presidential candidates, former presidents, former vice presidents, and like Mike Pence and like Joe Biden himself. And now you are going to find out during this process that Joe Biden is not who you say or who he thinks he is. And who's Joe Biden say he is? Joe Biden says that he's a member of the Navy. That's what Joe Biden says. And Joe Biden also says that Donald Trump is the current sitting president. You need to you need to use your ears. You need to use your ears and listen to what these people are telling you. Joe Biden has told you he is a member of the Navy multiple times. He has told you Donald Trump is the sitting president multiple times. He is clearly wearing a mask because he is a naval officer, because Joe Biden was tried in either a naval ship, a military tribunal, or possibly Guantanamo Bay itself. He was executed, just like Nancy Pelosi was executed, just like Hillary Clinton was executed, just like Mike Pence was executed. And you are all going to find this out. So you are cheering that Donald Trump is being thrown in prison, and this very political trial. Former president. That's all going to be used against you for Hillary Clinton being told, hey, she was tried. Hey, actually, I'm glad you support this because Joe Biden himself was tried. Oh, and actually, Mike Pence was tried too. So that's my prediction. You can take it to the bank. I 100% guarantee you're going to be told during this process that this has all actually happened to Joe Biden. It's all actually happened to Hillary Clinton and Nancy Pelosi and Mike Pence. They were executed for their crimes. I invest in IWMY that sells 0 DTE puts on the Russell. And so the total returns on this ETF, I bought this today. I've been buying this. Blindly averaging into it is about a 19.32% return. Obviously a very high yield. And HYGW, this is a high yield bond buy right ETF. Sort of thematic with these small cap stocks that I'm gonna go over in this video. We see 6.58% for HYGW on the blind average test. That actually does lose to HYGW itself, but I still wanted to show it. So I buy both of these. I bought both of these today. And so sort of a little bit of a way to get lots of option premium for when the small caps with all their high beta, all their kind of risky credit, they stay sideways. I reinvest the option premium. I use these ETFs because otherwise stocks like these that don't pay dividends can be dead money. This ETF actually does pay a dividend and is a small cap ETF. IWN. Real quick, I also just wanted to highlight, I'm looking into this ETF. It's from BlackRock. It's IWMW. I suspect this is going to end up being better than RYLD, not just because it has a lower expense ratio of 0.39, but also because it's running the 2% out of the money buy right strategy, so it's not selling completely at the money options that expire in a month on the Russell. It's selling 2% out of the money options. So that's back to IWN. We're going to get right back to the charts in this video. This is the value side of the Russell. I think it's got a pretty clean count, so I'm going to talk about it. This is a large wave one. It could be a wave. It could be a wave one or a wave A. I think that it's more properly going to be labeled a wave one because the length of wave one / wave A hasn't been met yet. It has not been met yet. That's interesting. So it is incomplete. So I will leave that 1-A here. I think most likely this is going to be a large wave 1, but this is a little more quote-unquote conservative, and that's just because this is a very large degree count. So I think this is wave 2, wave B. So a large wave 3, wave C is in progress. Now I actually don't think wave 3, wave C is going to end at 180. But it's interesting evidence from an Elliott wave perspective that the minimum target for IWN hasn't been reached yet. The subdivision is pretty clean for IWN. Well, I wanted to bring it up. 2, 3. Highest high within the wave 3 on the RSI, the monthly RSI. Shallow wave 4. Wave 5 ends with momentum divergence. Very clean ABC correction. What makes a clean pup? I'll give a few examples. We go right to the 61.8% retracement. Right there. Between the 50 to 61.8% fib, where wave 2, wave B ends. And the length of wave A, place of the wave B high, ends at right there, the 161.8% extension. Within this cycle, I'm going to use different colors. I think this is a large wave 1 and wave 2. This is an ABC correction. Now I'm going to subdivide this red wave 1. I think the subdivision's pretty clean, and it helps support the idea that in the big picture, the length of this rally placed at this low may be where IWN is heading for this red wave 3. And that could take it all the way up towards the low 230s for that equal legs target. So I'm going to subdivide these waves, the red 1 and the red 3. Within the red 1, this is wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and ABC wave 2. And then within this red wave 3, I think this is a wave 1, a wave 1, and a wave 2. That gives a invalidation of 1. The small wave 2 is 144.20. I like that. A little tight. Where'd we go? Oh no. I was giving you guys too good of a projection. This is a bullish signal. So I think that IWN is within a long term wave 3, could potentially go up towards the 230s. That's one reason I buy ETFs like IWMY, and why I'm considering buying IWMW. It's also why I buy small caps themselves. Now, these aren't value small caps, but I just wanted to include the value side of the small cap sector. I own AI and AIYY. I blended them together when AI was in the low 20s. We've seen a little bit of decay on AIYY. Most of the time, the yield max ETFs do good if the underlying does well. Blindly averaging into AIYY, they're not going to give me a they're not going to give me a return mid video. That's okay. What would it have been lump sum? I didn't do this, but lump sum, we'll just, since we can't get the blind average, which is my favorite, maybe I'll try to. Oh, we can't get the lump sum either. Oh, we didn't do that. There we go. Yeah, so the lump sum, negative 46.31 total return currently. So that's not good. We don't see what the blind average was. I'm going to try to refresh this one more time. Come on. This is free. All the stuff that I use is free. I don't pay for any subscriptions to any of these websites. But this would be a summer bummer if I couldn't get this blind average. Negative 30, right? So it's not really too great to blindly average into AIYY. At least that's because it's been in a bear market, would be presumably the answer. Very high implied volatility. So if AIYY turns around, we see possibly that ETF itself is going to start doing better in the total return category for the yield max ETFs. Just they're not all created equal is a very important theme. NVIDIA, stellar on the blind average test. CONY, stellar on the blind average test. Even more recently, YMAG is kicking the butt of the NASDAQ on the blind average test. So anyway, AIYY, not the best one. I did blend it though with the underlying. AI, and that's up on the commons pretty well. I bought it in the low 20s. So I'll talk about this stock real quick. I think the chart's pretty clean. A wave 1 and wave 2 did not form from that low. I am 100% sure that I fixed this a little better before the video. Anyway, I think that I'm going to keep holding AI. I'm definitely going to keep holding AI. If the ETF total return calculator gets a little better for AIYY, I'll continue to average up into this total position. Right now, I do have some AI commons though, and I'm going to keep holding them. I'll tell you what my count is. I think this is a large wave 1 and a wave 2 from this low. This is a wave 1 and an ABC wave 2 at the 78.6% retracement. From this low, a small wave 1 and a small wave 2 forms, I believe. So above 23.46, AIYY is within a long-term wave 3. The length of wave 1 placed at the wave 2 low gives a wave 3 target of 50. I'm actually going to get a little more cute now, just for kicks and giggles. I'm going to get a little more cute. If we got up to wave 3, wave 4 retested the wave 1 high, and then there was a shallow wave 4. How could I be real precise where this wave 3 is going to end? Off the top of my head, the 127.2% extension, little higher than what I've got labeled. Even if wave 4 retests the wave 1 high, wave 5 is the length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low. that wave 4 would be one good reason. That wave 4 chop would be a period that I would like to be holding AIYY, getting all that high premium. And then the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 4 low. If wave 5 is the length of wave 1 and wave 4 retests the wave 1 high, potentially this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves impulse may not end until the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 4 low is reached, and that could take AI all the way up to 80. And in my opinion, that would just complete this black wave 3. We'd have a wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. That's a beauty. That's probably going to be the thumbnail right there. Okay, Opko Health. I've talked about this one. I own this one. I own Leaps on this. I bought the $1 Leap for December for about $27.50 a contract. And so far, obviously it's doing well. The intrinsic value of those options is $41 plus a little bit of time value. I think this is a large wave 1 subdivided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. This is an ABC correction. These time fibs, I connected the beginning of wave 1 with the wave 1 high. Looks like this is where we get this reversal where wave 2 ends. I'm looking for wave 3, possibly a bullish cycle. That's a long ways away, but this could be a cyclical bottom into the 2030s on the all-time chart. I mean, look at this. This is a count that begins in 2006, right? So 2006 to 2015, 9 years from 2024. That's the early 30s. But anyway, wave 3 is actually usually faster than the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 3 low. And so I'm going to keep holding these leaps. And I think that I'm not really interested in the short term, but I will say that Opko Health has given a pretty good signal, what Elliott wave theorists call confirmation. What's that mean? Well, it's formed a five waves impulse from this low, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now it's broken this high. So this is a clear 5 waves impulse. It's actually probably another wave 1 and another wave 2. But right now, and the reason that I say that is because zooming out to the monthly has already made the weekly has already made a new high on the RSI, suggesting a wave 5 has not occurred. But even just forming 5 waves is a pretty big deal because it helps prove the larger count, sort of like in geometry where you have a proof to a theorem. That these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves impulse is called an impulse, and it helps suggest what I've been saying, that this is a long-term wave 3 that ended, which is obviously a wave 2 that ended, which is obviously why I bought those leaps. So I'm going to keep holding them. Wanted to update that real quick. Ring Energy. This is probably the only value one. I've talked about this one, but I'm going to keep holding it. I've noticed it's been on the screen. Those short-term option buyers have showed up again. I bought the 117.25 1.5 call for $50 a contract. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up. Beautiful expanding diagonal and ABC correction at the 78.6% retracement. And then I think from this low that a pretty clean impulse is formed. So I'm not going to go I'm not too interested in the gaming. I'm going to keep holding these leaps, but I'll show you why. Similar to Opko Health, I think a little bit of confirmation has been given because a 5 waves impulse is formed. This is an ABC correction as well. So I think we're going 5-3-5 on the daily from this low. So the length of this rally placed at this low is going to give a target of 2.67 in the daily cycle. Some might say this is wave one and this is wave two. I think that might actually be more accurate. But it's the same message: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves from this low. Sort of like Opko Health giving more credence to the larger degree count that a new impulse cycle is formed. So this 5 waves up is wave 1 slash wave A. I believe this is wave 2, wave B. So I'm looking for wave 3, wave C to begin. And I think that this 5-3-5 impulse is kind of helping to prove that a larger degree, wave 3, is in progress on that bigger count. So that's why I'm holding these leaps as well. One, two, three, four, five, wave one, ABC wave two at the 78.6% fib. Then I think 5 waves up from this low on the daily. 1, 2, wave 3, helping suggest this wave 1, wave 2, a larger degree. Wave 3 is in progress. Wanted to talk about Salesforce real quick. Talked about it in my last video how it's either ending a wave 4 or a wave 2 correction, and institutions are buying strangles on it. They were buying strangles on it before earnings. I didn't realize that was the earnings were today or yesterday when I posted that video. But they did buy those strangles. So what I suspect is they bought those strangles on Salesforce before earnings. I think this is wave 1 and wave 2. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. Wave 1, clean ABC wave 2. I think this is, yes, another wave 1 and ABC wave 2 at the 78.6% fib. Very clear invalidation of 193.68. Above that level, Salesforce can begin a wave 3, and institutions are going to buy shares of Salesforce against those deeply bloated in the money puts.